Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to phase 3 of doing an audio system in a 2023 Hyundai IONIQ 6. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, go ahead and take some time and do that now. Phase 1 was installing the speakers, Hertz speakers. Phase 2 was adding an aftermarket amplifier. And phase 3, well, it's going to be subwoofer time. Unfortunately, the sub that I picked is it's a tight fit, so let me show you that now. So that's approximately where it's going to sit. So this is Cerwin Vega spare tire subwoofer system, and I've heard one of these before, and I just thought, you know, for the size and how much room it takes up, it's fantastic. Fortunately, it's a little, we're putting a round peg in a rectangular hole here. I've had to make a little clearancing and to make this work, but the way this is going to mount is I'm going to have to drill a hole, unfortunately. Drill a hole in the let me move this out the way. Basically, I'm going to drill a hole right there, and I'm going to put a nut in there, and then I'm going to put a threaded rod, and that threaded rod will hold this down. Unfortunately, it won't completely touch the bottom of the floor pan there, or the trunk pan rather, but I don't think that's going to be a huge issue because this is actually designed to sit inside of a spare tire. So I'm going to get to work on this and see how this works out, but I've kind of checked everything out and it looks like it's going to work. Unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately a lot, I had to clearance a little room in here, which basically consisted of taking a BFH and just kneading this in and this in a little bit, so just to get a little bit more room. I took a in-depth look at the actual unit itself. This is all just sit it there. That is all self-contained. There's an amp, there's a subwoofer in there, so it's all good to go. And it's kind of torquey, but let's see if you guys can see in there. But there is a solid subwoofer in there, so I really want to use this. And like I said, I've heard it, and I you know, for the size, I thought it was great results. So I'm gonna get to work on this. A lot of this project rather is going to consist of wiring, and at this point, I think you guys have seen enough of that. So I'm just going to show some highlights here and there, and this will be a quick install for you guys. It'll be a much longer install for me. Stay tuned. Now, depending on where you're going to mount stuff, you need to check, but I've already done that. So underneath here, this is actually a little bit of a false floor, if you will. I don't know if it goes to empty space. So I've done a little bit of checking, and this goes to, honestly, just underneath the vehicle. I don't know how much you can see there. So you got this trunk pan, and then there's obviously, do I call it a rear diffuser? Let's call it a belly pan underneath the trunk, so it's just free air underneath there. So I'm going to position the subwoofer. It fits best going this way. Okay. I have a center punch. It's just not very long, so I'm going to use this and my mallet. Center punch, quick knock, maybe a little harder. There we go. Now that I have a rough idea of where the hole's going to be, I'm going to take my actual center punch, use that. It's going to be about right there. Okay, so here's that that threaded rod, and this comes with the Cerwin Vega unit here. Always make sure your threaded insert is the right size there. So we're going to start off drilling a pilot hole. Okay. Now you want to check your rib nut. Okay, so I'm not going to use the wing nut, I'm just going to use this nut here. Okay, so I got it pretty well secured, at least I think so. It's not going anywhere. Fortunately, I kind of ran out of sound deadening, so I got more coming, but it didn't show up in time. I'm going to do this whole cavity with sound deadening because it's just an empty cavity. So we're going to put the trim back on and test and see how everything fits. It just goes like that. Got my 2 trim screws. Now we're going to test, make sure the trunk liner fits. Now, what I wanted, you could very easily just put a sub box in here with some subs in it. In fact, the amplifier that I use, they make a 5-channel version, so if you want to do it, that's what I would use. But I didn't want to see anything. I wanted a completely usable trunk, and this gives me that. So, give you a flashlight, just so you guys can see. Complete, like it never even happened. That's what I want. So now we're going to move on to step 2, which is just going to be wiring. Take that out. Take this mat out. Now this is the harness that they give you. This will take high-level inputs, which I've already set up. You can see that I set that up in my amplifier install video. So this will essentially plug in here. It'll go down here, up over behind there, to the under the back seat where I ran power. So I'm gonna get my wire harness ran, and I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. And okay, here's the complete harness right here. So I'm going to route this harness. I got the inner fender liner pulled back. It's not completely attached. Essentially, there is a screw right there, and then there's a bolt up yay high. You'll see it. Well, actually, no. Screw here, bolt there, and 1 clip up here, and 1 clip here. And if you don't have a cargo net, there'll be another clip here. I'm gonna get this wire harness routed, and then put the trunk completely back together, and then I'll transfer into working where my amp is. Okay, so I got it pretty much all done. So here's how that wiring looks. Okay, and then it goes all behind this factory panel. Everything is sitting nice. Take you around. Comes in, well, down through there. Okay. And then down in here, sorry for the mess, I gotta vacuum and I gotta set the gains and stuff too. I had already made a pigtail for myself for the subwoofer inputs because I knew I was gonna add it. So that's all set. We got all our power. The unit does have a fuse, but you always want to protect the power run, obviously, of course, and then the unit itself. The unit does have its own fuse, so it is protected, and so is the run of wiring protected. So this is all neat and tidy. I'm going to adjust all the gains, get everything going, but thanks for watching. This video is done.